Hello, I'm Samuel Yancey,
And I am Xavier Boomershine.
and this is Sprint 4, Video 5, to show you our creative, unique aspects. So I'll go ahead and launch our game. Now, our unique aspects are with the player's ability to look around. So, as in, if I look left, our player looks left. If I look right, our player looks right. And if I look up, then the player looks up. Tell them about the boss, Xavier.
Now, the boss is actually rather unique by the fact that it's comprised of two independent objects, one being the body and the second being the head. The body, which whenever hit by the ball, will repel the ball backwards towards in the opposite direction it came. See? When you hit the head, though, the head is actually a very vulnerable spot that will basically kill the boss and progress you to the next stage. So, once we hit that, we'll demonstrate. There you go. And our third and final interesting feature is the death animations. Death animations give a satisfying conclusion to the end of the fight, showing that you have in fact defeated him and get rewarded with a cool little sequence of frames. Oh, and we also forgot to mention that the ball will in fact ricochet off the boss and the walls in a very predictable manner, in which the player can plan around to try to hit the boss's head.
Yes, our ricochet that we have is based off of sine and cosine, and so it should be a real, genuine, created angle that is very predictable. It should bounce off in exactly the way that you would expect it to bounce off.
Yep.
And then to show you all of our death animations, that's our first boss death animation. Here will be our second boss in just 1 second. And
as Sam uses the trajectory of the ball to bounce off the walls.
here we go. That's the second boss death animation. And then the third... the third boss is very hard in our defense. We added another unique aspect, actually, that we can talk about, where he will randomly change direction. We set up a random function, and the random function will dictate whether or not he will just turn left or right on a whim, which makes it very difficult to figure out what he's going to do, and it can also let him corner you or avoid bullets very easily.
Yep. That's how he uses it to both trap the ball and avoid the shot.
It is very difficult. And that was an aspect of him avoiding the shot using it. He was able to turn at the last second. There we go, and that's his death animation. Head splits open, wires come out, and then it corrupts his power core and spreads along his body.
Then he splits apart into 4 segments.
And that's pretty much all of our unique and custom aspects of our game. We have the player being able to look, the ball being able to ricochet. Our bosses have 2 objects. They have the head object that's weak and will check for collisions, and we have the body object, which will bounce off collisions with the force field. And then we have... Huh?
Oh, the second boss body will protect the head from the ball, is the goal.
Yes. And then our final one is the boss death animations, where once you finally hit them in their weak point, it will display a sequence of our sprites that we set up to show you a satisfying end to the boss fight. And that's all we have for Video 5.